Hey guys, everything new under the sun here. I got a couple articles about Israel, and I think they're interesting. Iran's nuclear chief: Israel isn't a state, therefore it's not a threat. So Iran making big statements and basically insulting Israel. Ali Akbar Salehi makes remarks in response to a question about his estimates on the chance of an Israeli-Iranian war in the wake of nuclear deal reached last year. The head of Iran's Atomic Energy Organization, Ali Akbar Salehi, has dismissed Israel as a threat to the Islamic Republic, saying Tehran's lack of recognition of the Jewish state renders its warnings as empty threats. We essentially do not see Israel as a state. Therefore, it's not a threat to Iran, London-based news outlet Ali Arabi al-Jadid quoted him as saying in an interview. Irrespective of the global deal over the Iranian nuclear program, the Israel Air Force has continued building its long-range capabilities and maintaining its readiness for any potential future scenario that may develop between Israel and the Islamic Republic. The effort is overseen by the IAS Air Operations, established in the midst of Operation Protective Edge 2014, as the body responsible for activating the buildup of the Israeli air power. So, maybe it's convenient that Iran doesn't think Israel is a threat. Israel arguably easily has the air power superiority over Iran to both take out Iran and take out its nuclear power plants more specifically. And so I think it's a bit of a joke that Iran is saying that with their bellicose remarks. Doesn't make any sense. Israel's going to do what they need to do, basically. And another article from Jerusalem Post here about the Temple Mount. Jordanian WAQF minister says no negotiations with Israel over Temple Mount cameras. So there was an agreement a while back that to ensure everybody was on the same side with what was happening on the Temple Mount, who was instigating things, and it's usually the Arabs who instigate things on the Temple Mount, throwing stones. That the Israel would install cameras so that the world community and the whole world populace could see any time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, what was happening on the Temple Mount, and confirm who was instigating all the trouble. And so that's the background, and so they haven't quite implemented all the cameras yet. In an interview with Jordanian newspaper Al Dastur, Jordanian WAQF minister said that reports about Israel-Jordanian negotiations lack any credibility. In an interview, Hale said the reports about Jordanian negotiations lack credibility, stating that there are no negotiations between us and the Israelis over this issue. Jordan will still have authorities related to the installation of surveillance cameras, their transmissions, and the inspections on them. Owing to its special role as Al-Aqsa's defender, he added. Hale emphasized that Jordan and not Israel had demanded to install surveillance cameras on Temple Mount under Jordanian inspection in order to defend Al-Aqsa and document Israeli infringements on religious rights. Now, I think it was Jordan who didn't want to let the whole world see the video footage of the camera. They just wanted the cameras there so that if Israel did something, maybe they could show the world that Israel is instigating trouble. But no, Israel is happy to have them so that the whole world can see that the Arab youth are the ones causing a lot of the trouble and going up on the Temple Mount and throwing stones at the Jews. And so Jordan doesn't want the whole world seeing what's on the cameras. So it's an interesting battle here. And the world community does want to be able to see the feeds from these cameras, and they're fighting over whether the feeds are wide open, free for anybody to view at any time of day. And I think they should just do a webcam thing where anybody can go to some particular site and just see everything that's happening. It doesn't matter who's instigating, who's causing, who's supporting, fighting. The whole world community can see clearly who is causing the trouble, and I think that would benefit, benefit both sides. I guess it doesn't benefit the Arab side, because the Arab side would be shown for what they are and causing the troubles. It's very rare that a Jew or Jews go up there and incite instability there. So there you go. A bit of an update on the cameras on the Temple Mount. They haven't quite come to an agreement with what they're going to do there, but I think it's a good idea for both sides. And this could tie into the two witnesses. I pulled up Revelation 11, and the cameras tie into the two witnesses because it says the whole world will see the bodies of them. Speaking of the two witnesses, now when they had finished their testimony, the beast that comes up from the abyss will attack them and overpower them and kill them. Their bodies will lie in the public square in the great city, square of the great city, which is figuratively called Sodom and Egypt, where also the Lord was crucified, for 3.5 days. So from every people, tribe, language, and nation will gaze on their bodies and refuse them burial. Now this is a technology statement, as they say, and what it means is the whole world is going to see the bodies of the two witnesses. And how are they going to see this? Probably through the TV, through satellite transmission and internet. And but where the cameras come from? The cameras could come from the cameras that will be installed, that they're talking of right now in this article, that will be installed on the Temple Mount, so that all the world can see what's happening on the Temple Mount. And maybe one of these cameras happens to be pointed at the two witnesses and being live streamed to the internet. So I think that's a really cool thing, and I think that is a very near fulfillment of Bible prophecy. Very cool stuff happening right before our eyes, and soon we'll be able to see the Temple Mount live before our eyes streaming. And I know there's a couple of cams already, but I think that's pretty cool prophetic news.